Welcome to ENSCO INSIGHTS, where we delve into the latest breakthroughs and challenges with leaders from the space industry. Hi, I'm your host, Brooke Brown. Launching rockets requires utilizing and operating technical systems that monitor the weather, the rocket and launch equipment, radar, perimeter security, cybersecurity, and more. For the United States, one company has been successfully providing critical support services for both the Eastern and Western launch ranges for over 50 years. Joining us now on Insights is Ann Phinney, the Vice President of Business Development at ENSCO Incorporated. With an impressive career spanning over 3 decades, Ann has held key roles at renowned companies like CACI International and L3Harris. She is celebrated for her expertise in business development, strategic planning, and leadership. Ann holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from California State University and currently resides in Long Beach. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you, Brooke. Nice to meet you.
Let's get right into it. In general, what services does ENSCO provide in supporting spaceport operations, including mission planning, launch support, and range safety?
Thank you for asking. In general, ENSCO provides system engineering and integration support to the Space Force, helping them and their customers launch assets that help protect the United States and our allies.
Thank you for that insight. Now, I'm sure the Air Force and now the Space Force have changed over the years. How have the changes impacted contractors, specifically a contractor like ENSCO that provides systems engineering and technical support?
Our roles have really changed significantly over the years, especially going from Air Force to Space Force. We've had to become partners to Space Force to maintain space superiority and stay ahead of our adversaries. And what does this mean? It really means that we need to leverage our current assets, buy what we can, and build only what we must in order to stay ahead of our adversaries. We can't afford to build or every new thing, every new asset that's required on the ranges in order to accommodate new customers or new payloads or new providers of the assets. And so that takes some thinking outside the box and creative system engineering and very mission focused in a very time and budget constraint environment.
Thank you. Can you elaborate on the role ENSCO has in facilitating transparent and equitable contracting processes, and how does this approach benefit both government agencies and contractors?
Our role is to be an honest broker to all of our customers, including Space Force. We provide mission assurance with subject matter expertise that include things like system engineering, architecture development, requirement management, risk assessments, budget planning, model simulation, testing and evaluation, cybersecurity, and a lot of studies, just to name a few. Then we provide data back to the government so that they can make good decisions within budget constraints to meet their mission objectives.
You mentioned being an honest broker. What do you mean when you say ENSCO is an honest broker?
I'm glad you asked because we use that term honorably. As a partner of Space Force, we are an impartial mediator. And how do we do this? We do this through studies. And a good example is studies that are to make buy studies or studies to use assets in a way that they weren't originally designed and intended. And we provide that back to the government so that they can make good decisions on how they can proceed forward in the time frame that meets their mission, along with their budget constraints that they have. That's what an on-site broker is. And I'm very, very honored to work for a company that holds that in high regard.
So we are getting new spaceports all the time. How would this process specifically ENSCO help a new spaceport?
Starting with a sound architecture that is flexible is key for sure. Transforming our current ranges when they were built 40, 50, in some cases 60 years ago to meet current launch demands is a big challenge for us to overcome. We're getting there. 10, 20 years ago, we were only having a launch, every couple months. And now we're having a couple launches a day in some cases. But that isn't good enough yet. And so having a sound architecture that is flexible is key in satisfying not only the government, Space Force at both ranges, but also the customers that use those ranges.
We are going to take a short break, but we will be right back with more from Julianne, so don't go away.
Long before liftoff and beyond, one team has set our trajectory for assured access to space.
Engines throttling up.
By taking ideas
Go and throttle up.
to reality. We are ENSCO, Aerospace Engineering.
Welcome back to ENSCO INSIGHTS. We are talking with Ann Phinney, the Vice President of Business Development at ENSCO. When Colonel Knisley from Space Force's commercial office was on Insights a few weeks ago, he emphasized the importance of commercial partnerships in enhancing the Space Force's capabilities. How does ENSCO collaborate with the U.S. Space Force? And are there any specific examples you can talk about?
We collaborate every day with the Space Force. That includes, the special studies, as I mentioned before. Though I can't get into any further details because of the classification of most of our support, I can say that we partner with other large and small industry partners for reach back to make sure we are considering all options for Space Force when meeting their mission.
Colonel Knisley discussed the evolving threat landscape in space and the importance of cybersecurity in protecting critical space assets. What role is ENSCO playing in developing and implementing cybersecurity solutions for a space system?
It depends on where we are and what assets we're talking about, but we either bake in cybersecurity into our new architectures, or we wrap our current assets with cybersecurity, and then we protect them through ATO packages and in some cases, breaking them in and securing them and then rewrapping them. But cybersecurity is, just like in our everyday lives, is highly important and can't be ignored. And I'll give you a good example of how it's grown. In 2016, one of our SCNI contracts that we had won and were performing excellent on, we originally bid like only 2 cybersecurity engineers for the entire network that we were working on. And then by the end of the 6-year program, we had over 30 FTEs, full-time cybersecurity engineers working this. That's how important and critical cybersecurity plays into this. So now at ENSCO, we have an entire business area that supports all of our programs across the network and across both commercial and government contracts, making sure that cybersecurity is in fact secure on all of our programs.
We are about out of time. If people want to learn more about ENSCO, what is the best way?
Well, first of all, I would go to our website, which is at just ensco.com. That's one way. But looking me up on LinkedIn, I have an open door policy, as most of our people at ENSCO do. And, dropping me a line or reaching out through LinkedIn is a perfect way of getting to know us and understanding our capabilities and how we support both the Space Force and Air Force and the commercial market.
And finally, I couldn't help but noticing you have a lot of guitars behind you.
I do. Not to bring everybody down or be sad. It's actually a good thing. It's actually a memory wall for my husband, who passed away 9 years ago. And those are all his guitars. And I took all of his guitars and his equipment and made a memory wall for me and my girls to honor him.
Wow, what a wonderful way to commemorate him with such beautiful musical equipment. Julianne, thank you for your time today and giving us some insights in ENSCO. We wish you continued success. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brooke. Much appreciated.
Thanks for watching ENSCO Insights. Be sure to stay connected to the Space Intel Report for the latest updates on the space industry. And check back here for the next episode of ENSCO Insights as we continue to probe the fascinating world of space exploration and technology. I'm Brooke Brown. See you next time.